Morning, guys. Sitting in here in the dark. I've got the SPY open. There's some very important stuff that I want to share. Firstly, this is the 4-hour. I like the 4-hour better than the daily. It makes a smoother chart, easier to read, easier to get signals on. So this was our big top, head and shoulders. Boom, 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 boom. Broke down around here, had a fight to maintain the bull market. Looks like it's failed to me. So there's a couple of things I wanted to put on here. I wish I could. This fib that's overlaying it runs from the very bottom of, I believe that's the black swan that's the black swan in 2020 to the very tip of that head and shoulders. So that's what this fib that you'll see here is. Right now we just dropped it to 382. So we're at a key fib level here. I don't know what that line's on there. So we're at a key fib level on this macro. I'm going to throw a trend-based fib extension on here as best as I can. From there to the tip of that shoulder. I guess it's extending out. So this is getting a little bit cluttered, but bear with me here. Guess I can delete those, but I don't see too much of a need. So we have a trend-based fib extension, high, low, high. Okay, I'm gonna throw another one. We'll go high, low, come on. Precision is not great on these. There it is. Okay, so I've got a couple of trend-based fib extensions on here. And what we see whenever I do that is that this trend-based fib extension has the 1.618 extension at 350, which falls in line perfectly with the 0.5 of the actual fib. So we're seeing some synchronicity here, right? You know, the 0.5 is the magnet that price is always drawn back to. So from black swan to peak of buying, we have 350. Trend based from head, neckline, right shoulder, the 1618 is right at 350, right? Then I want to show this thing. So whenever you have a head and shoulders, your target price, I'm just going to pull this out because I've got snap to candle, so it keeps dragging me to each candle. I'm going to pull it out here just so that I can get a reading there. That looks about right. So ignore this. We're just looking here. The distance from the top of the head to the neckline, 13%. That is your target when the trend line breaks on the right shoulder. So 13%. Let's go where the neckline breaks, somewhere in here. Let's pull 13% down. Oh, look at that. Our target from the break of this neckline, just trading the head and shoulders, is 347.71. The 1.618 extension, 350. The 0.5 on the macro, 349.67. When you have synchronicity like this, you know, it feels like 350 is an absolute lock. Would have been nice to notice this and commit to it when this head and shoulders was breaking, because this was, I remember messaging the picture of this breaking in the group. Probably it'll look better if I throw it on the hourly, but we had a head and shoulders break here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 breakdown, and it's exceeded our expectations for where it would dump. In fact, I think the target from tip of head to neckline, once it broke, was here, and that's why price stalled. But the long and short of what I'm trying to get across to y'all is that we have a confluence of events occurring right here. Oh, excuse me, wherever that price is. Yeah, right here. Now that kind of falls in line. There's a trend-based fib extension from here. The 786 is here. I don't think this leg is as macro and important as the other ones, but here's this fib. I don't know. I don't find much use for it. It's not as confluent. So that's the target, 350. There is something going on here where it's worth noting that this trend line, resistance, when it was broken, big move, right? And now we're in a downtrend, granted, but price is holding here. There's a reason why we had gap down, and this is where we start fighting, right? This is where we had our bull trap. And while price is going down each day, it's going down along this trend line. And I think that there's a lot of people who are trading this trend line. There's some validity to it. I think that maybe a break and close below here. So yeah, it never broke and closed above until there, and then we had a retest and a go. So I think if we close below here, we'll probably have a gap down, retest, and then go to 350. So there you go. That's the SPY chart macro going on right there. Now, oh no, that's not it. So I also wanted to point out some things here. This is important. No, not that. Yeah, here we are. Okay. So on the 4 hour, we've got 10 divergences on this 4 hour candle here. Now, I'm looking back as far as it will put these, which isn't incredibly far, granted. It's June of last year, so it's a year's worth of data here that put these on. But pretty much everywhere that you see 10 or more has been a local top. This is a slight exception, but really that's the only one. And it was like, we were so bullish at the time, but this is the exception. I do want to point that out first. This is the exception. Heck, even eight divergences, that was a local top. That was a local top. Top. 10 divergences, bottom. 11 and 10 divergences, absolute top. 7 was a top. 7 was a top. 9, now granted, it wasn't a bottom, but it was a bottom for this, for days. 11, spring. 9, spring. 10, sell off. So this many divergences. It's like you're gonna have to, every single institutional investor will have to give up on the market in order for this not to spring us out somewhere. I mean, somewhere. Is it just a spring to 375, you know? Is it just something, do we just come back in here and bounce to 372? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. You have to believe that this is going to pull us out a little bit, plus finding support on that trend line. But my whole point with that is, no matter what happens here, and especially if we rally here, short to 350, why would you do anything other than short to 350? Now, as far as bizzle, tizzle, sizzle goes, I've got we came down here and we started wedging, and we broke that wedge and found support on that wedge. And I was trying to figure out yesterday why we were dropping 20,800 and like finding such gnarly support right here for most of the day. And one, it's the 236. Two, it was this diagonal support. I got stopped out at 20,750 after going long at 20,901. So I lost some yesterday. I don't know what to expect from price here. There's a part of me that says, let me put this on the hourly. So on the hourly chart here, we had this harmonic pattern print, and it obeyed exactly down through 3 targets. So it was 5 zigzags. There's been 377 of these patterns. Target 3 was reached. So that means that all that's left is target 4. That means out of 377 of these patterns that have ever printed on the hourly, only 3 of them have ever hit target 4. Target 4 is 18.3. Now granted, that's a huge distance from here. 15% or some shit like that, I don't know. But there's also a point that everyone's waiting on 18K. Every Twitter person, all the fucking people who talk about it, they all say 18K is incoming. And while 18K may be incoming, to expect it on this move, it feels very unwise. BTC will never, ever do what the consensus expects it to do. So what would be really shocking here for everyone would be for support to be found and for a move up. I mean, this thing can be bearish as hell. Like, we dropped these levels and it's just, there's all this space. Like, you could have a breakout that would liquidate all, we could have a short squeeze and just bounce up to the 0.5 and not even get to any previous lowest low of price action. And you're talking about bouncing to 26K. Do I think it's going to do that? No, but with me not having a good feeling of what's going to happen, I'm overall bearish. I'm not longing the market right now, outside of just get into something, get out of something. Not anything I'm holding overnight, but this is not getting hit on this move. We are much more likely to form a higher high and break into 23.5 territory than we are to go to 18.5, 18.4. Although, if we do start dropping here and pulling into this territory, less than 1% chance that we get to this. So find your buy. I don't know how you do it. Pick your level in this no man's land, right? But find your buy here before price gets there, because the odds of it hitting there are extremely small. Now, keep in mind, a 1% chance still means it's a 1% chance. I mean, things happen, and they're exceptional. And this is an exceptional market right now. So the macro fib is sitting at 17.8 probably. I like the resilience of Bitcoin right now, to be honest. If you look at what SPY's done and the way SPY's putting in new lows, like yesterday, just sell, and Bitcoin pretty much held. I mean, it came down, did all this nonsense, but it's been more resilient than I expected, and the volume didn't come in on huge liquidation candles or panic pressure, and it's just flattening out. You look at this volume profile, like enthusiastic selling through this move, and then a push here, which was the end, I believe, of the Elliott. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then ABC corrective, and now we're probably in a wedge or triple threes. We won't be able to tell for a minute, but we've definitely got an ABC. This could be an XYZ, could be a WXY. We'll see once it plays out a little more, but I think we ended the Elliott. ABC. Meow. Something's going to happen here. I don't expect huge moves up or down, but keep in mind, if SPY does decide to bounce off of this 4-hour 10 divergence candle and just come, to 380, just to retest these lows, go tag this fib again, that could easily pull Bitcoin up to 23. Easily. We could easily see 23, possibly 25, depending on how enthusiastic this SPY might be. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what y'all think about that day. Also, we just before I end on Bitcoin, so on the hourly, we just formed this Navarro 200, which is just a harmonic. It's just a slight variation on the Gartley. They follow generally the same rules, just different shapes. But target 1 was just reached on this. So if we look at 3 zigs, target 1 reached, 3 zigs, target 1 reached. That's 274. So almost all of them get stopped out. 274 hit target 1. That leaves us with 152, 197. So 197 out of 1,241. That's 1 out of 6. 1 out of 6 of these on the hourly makes it to target 2. So the odds of us retesting these lows today are extremely unlikely. I think that 20,800 is probably the lowest we'll see today unless SPY sells off. But this is all conjecture until price starts telling us what's going on here. I think it's a safe bet to scoop before this price. And even if it does come down and tag target 2, you have to think that there's a 100, that only 150, whatever that is, 143 out of 1241 reach target 3 or 4, which I don't know where 3 is on here. Anyway, love you turds. Trade safely. Bye.